Hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Terry. Hope you guys and gals are doing well. Thanks a lot for coming back by the channel. I really appreciate it. So this video here is going to be the start of what I hope is going to be a monthly series where I just do like monthly PC builds. Not that I can actually build them, but like just give you guys a list of parts for, let's say, a given price point. And then that way there, y'all can either go off what I have here, get inspired to make your own part list or whatever it might be for your future build. So with that being said, let's just jump right into the parts list here, okay? First and foremost here, we're going to start with the CPU. Now this is an AMD based system. So this here is the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. And I went ahead and picked this one here because for this price point, it's around $1,700. I figured that people that want to spend this kind of money are going to want to do more gaming than what they are like, content creation, if that makes sense. Now don't get me wrong, okay? This might be a 8-core 16-thread CPU, but there is so much more than just gaming that you can do with this. If you want to edit 4K video, you totally could. If you wanted to use this thing to edit large photos in Lightroom, like, 100 megapixel photos in Lightroom with a good graphics card, you totally could do that there as well. Now, it's kind of funny, y'all, because this day and age, everything is so well optimized, and these 8-core 16-thread CPUs now are so bloody powerful from both AMD and Intel. You don't really need a lot of cores to get a lot of work done. Now, that's not to say that the high-end, high core count stuff doesn't matter, because for certain workloads, it most definitely will matter, and it definitely will save you time. And as we all know, time is money in this kind of industry here. But for gaming, this CPU is one of, if not the best chip on the market right now. Again, 8 cores, 16 threads, and it's awesome as well too, folks, because this does use the brand new 3D V-Cache technology that AMD has for all their X3D counterparts, you know what I mean? And on top of that, this chip actually does beat out the 14900K in a vast majority of the gaming benchmarks I have seen. Like, it either matches it or outright destroys it. So the 14900K, in my opinion, is a waste of money. Don't buy it. Just buy a 13900K to save a lot of money and just call it a day and do it that way. You can just overclock the 13900K if you want as well too. But just in my opinion, go for this here. Save some money. Get a lot more frames. Now for the motherboard, okay, look, this might be kind of controversial, and I'm sorry, but I'm actually a big fan of Gigabyte boards. I know that a few years or so ago they got a bad rap, but in my opinion, they really turned themselves around. As a matter of fact, the board I have in here, it's a Gigabyte Aorus X570 board. It's stable, it's great, I love it so much. But this here is the X670 Aorus Elite AX. Now, what I like about it is mainly it's going to have, of course, compatibility for the new technology, the AM5 socket. It's going to have, DDR5 compatibility as well. But I mainly got this here for the storage expandability here, because it says right here that it has 4 M.2 slots. It also has onboard 2.5 gig LAN, which is pretty awesome as well. And then I know that a lot of other manufacturers out there for their M.2 installations now, they're using like a quick release screw or lever. Well, apparently this board has that same type of little lever locking mechanism, whatever you want to call it, for just quick and easy M.2 install. So that's pretty good as well. Now on to the video card. This here is an RTX 4070. It's the gaming OC edition from Gigabyte, and with that, with their WindForce cooler on here, this thing is going to have no problem staying nice and cool. And hey everybody, this is Editing Terry here. I thought I would just pop back in here for a second to explain to you all why I went with a 4070 and not a last gen 3070 or a 3080. Hey everybody, just real quick, Editing Terry here. I want to just jump in here for a second. I wanted to just jump back on here and explain my rationale in a little bit more detail about why I went with a 4070 and not with like a 3070 or a 3080 from last gen. Because I know a lot of you out there saying, a 4070, why just not pick a 4080 with that price point? Like a 4080 would have been a better deal. And here's the thing, okay, you're totally right. If you want to just upgrade to a 4070 Ti or just straight up to a 4080 for this type of build, go right ahead. A matter of fact, I implore you to do so. The performance gains over a 4070 will be leaps and bounds worth it. But I went with the 4070 just so I can get you guys in the door for the features that the RTX 4000 series from NVIDIA has to offer. Mainly the AV1 encoding. That's a big one right now. The way I see it is that if you're going to build a system like this here, the RTX 4070 would be perfect for 1080p, more than adequate for 1440p, and in some games, depending on what details you want to play at, you can even do some stuff at 4K. But yeah, mainly for the AV1 encoding. Just wanted to throw that out there. Matter of fact, a friend of mine has this exact same card He got it a few months or so ago, but he paid a little bit more for it right now. Actually, yeah, he paid $650, but right now it's on sale, so keep that there in mind. And he says during gaming, the card never gets hotter than like 55, 60 degrees playing at 1440p. All of his stuff maxed out. And it's quiet as heck. There's no coil whine on his card, but of course, mileage may vary for that one there. But as far as overall performance goes, fantastic. And for $600 right now, it's a pretty good price if you ask me. Now time to move on to memory. And for this selection here, I wanted to keep it kind of middle of the road, like not too extreme, not ungodly fast, and also not slow. But then again, though, with the overall speeds that DDR5 offers, I don't really think there is such thing as slow DDR5, if that makes sense, you know. But this here, in my opinion, is a very budget-minded selection here. So it's the Corsair Vengeance RGB RAM. I'm a big fan of Corsair Vengeance, but I also like G.Skill as well. This year came in about $5 cheaper than a G.Skill Trident series kit, but if you find that on sale as well, I highly recommend that kit as well. It's the same thing, just a different brand, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Same speeds, RGB, all that jazz. This is coming in at a pretty respectable speed of around 6,000 megatransfers per second, and it's also got some pretty decent timings at CL36. Now, you could go faster, you could save a little bit of money and get like, you know, a 5600, but the way I see it though, the way RAM prices are right now, it's actually sometimes cheaper to go with 6,000 megatransfers per second, because there were a couple 5600 kits out there that were the same price, sometimes a few dollars more expensive. So 6,000, just go with that, and I think you'll be good. And with this being a 32 gig kit, you should have plenty of memory in your system for any kind of editing or gaming you might want to do. Now for storage, I wanted to go with something extremely reliable for you guys and gals. There are more affordable options out there, but sometimes they can be from cheapo, no-name manufacturers, and frankly, I wouldn't trust my data with those. So storage is definitely one of those things, like a power supply, you don't necessarily want to cheap out on, you know what I mean? Like if you can afford a better model, I would highly recommend you do that. So this here is the Samsung 990 Pro. It is a 2 terabyte NVMe drive. It does run at Gen 4 speeds, but you're still getting like reads and writes of over 7 gigs a second. Like this thing is insanely fast. And again, it's a Samsung drive. They make some of, if not the best NVMe drives out there. So, you know, you're going to get the speed, reliability for years to come. Now for the power supply, I didn't want to go too extreme, but I also wanted to make sure you had enough wattage left over from this current build to maybe upgrade to a higher core count CPU, upgrade to a higher wattage, video card, like maybe an RTX 4080, or possibly both if you want to. So with that being said, I have had nothing but amazing luck with any EVGA power supply. This here is a gold rated unit. It's 850 watt. It's a Supernova 850 G5. And what I like, well, not what I like, what I love about EVGA power supplies is that their modular cables, they're all pinned the same, right? So case in point, I have a 1200 watt power supply in my computer right now. It's from EVGA. Before that, it was an 850 watt. But because all the pinouts are the exact same, all I had to do was leave my cables and everything plugged into my hardware. I just unplugged them all from the power supply, swapped into the new one, plugged them all back in, and I was done swapping power supplies in like 35 seconds. It was amazing. So this way here, if you wanted to upgrade to a higher wattage unit later, you can keep your current cables in place and just swap out the power supply. But again, 850 watt for everything in here, including upgrading to a 4080 or a higher core count AMD CPU, should be just fine. Now the case, okay? Now the case. This case is one of my favorite cases to build in. So far, I've done 2 or 3 builds in one of these things, the Corsair 4000D. And of course, you have to get your own fans because it only includes 2. And I would definitely recommend you load this thing up with fans, or at least get 2 more fans for in front. The 2 stock included fans are okay, but if you wanted something with a little bit more airflow or static pressure, of course, I would recommend you buy your own. But for $80 on sale right now, this is an absolute steal. It's amazing to build in. Plenty of side panel room here for a big thick graphics card, and also for the GPU power for NVIDIA cards. There is enough room there that you can actually squeeze it in there no problem, and it's not pushing against the glass, causing any kind of strain on that 12-volt power connector. But overall though, it's still one of my favorite cases out there. And it looks great if you stack this thing up with RGB fans. It looks fantastic, plenty of airflow. And the best part, because I actually have the big brother in this case here, I have the 5000D, but the dust filters in this case, they work exceptionally well. All right, everybody, grand total for this build, and keep in mind that this is just for the PC hardware. There's no peripherals, no monitors, no speakers, keyboard, mouse, whatever else that you might want, and it also does not include a license for Windows at all. Okay, just keep it there in mind. Again, want to just repeat this here, just for the hardware itself, $1,672 USD. Now, keep in mind here, folks, that does not include shipping, does not include taxes of any kind, and on top of that, I went ahead and inputted all these prices with the non-sale price. Okay, so that way there, this overall price might sound a little bit more expensive, but whenever you go to add this stuff to your cart or things are on sale, it will bring that price down for you all, okay? But overall though, folks, I'm very satisfied with this build. If you want to play games on max settings at 1440p, I don't see why you couldn't do that. Maybe even some 4K gaming, but that the 4070 might limit you a little bit on your overall game quality settings at 4K. But for 1080p, max anything out you want. High refresh rate stuff as well too. 1440p, I would say at least high settings, probably max for a lot of games out there would be doable 100% as well. But do me a favor though, okay folks, sound off in the comments below. Is there anything you would change about this? Anything you would add? Any kind of parts you might want to swap out? Do me a favor, sound off in the comments below, and I will catch you guys and gals next time.